Here, a film director is the author. So he's saying that it is true that certain characters and plot twists in my newly released film. So this director has released a new film, The Big Heist, and he's saying that it is true that certain characters and plot twists in this film are strikingly similar to characters and plot twists in Thieves. It's capitalized, so it's probably the name of something. A movie that came out last year. Okay, so he's saying it is true that certain characters and plot twists in this film are strikingly similar to the characters and plot twists in this movie that came out last year. Okay, so these two are strikingly similar. Based on these similarities, the film studio that produced Thieves is now accusing me of taking ideas from that film, right? So your movie came out this year, Thieves movie came out last year, and if characters and plot twists are very similar, yeah, it seems to be that you have taken ideas from that film. Hmm. Now he's saying, so these are the facts so far. Now the film director is presenting his opinion that the accusation is clearly without merit. Okay, so now he's saying that this accusation is not really correct. It's without any basis, without any merit. Okay, all production work on the big heist, all production work on the big heist was actually completed months before this movie was released. So he's saying that all production work on my film was actually completed months before this movie was released. If all the production work got completed before this movie was released, then how could I copy ideas from this movie? So this statement is supporting this film director's point that this accusation is without merit. So he's saying that I have not copied or I have not taken ideas from the movie Thieves because the production work on my film got completed months before that movie was released. Okay, which of the following, if true, provides the strongest support for the director's rejection of the accusation? Okay, so we have to support the director's rejection, which is what he's doing. That he's rejecting the accusation. He's saying, no, 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 I have not really taken ideas from that movie, Thieves. Okay, we have to support that. Option A. Before Thieves began production, its script had been circulating for several years among various film studios, including the studio that produced The Big Heist. Okay, so it's a very clear indicator that Big Heist could have seen that script of the movie Thieves before even the movie began production. And right, so it opens up that possibility that the studio that produced a Big Heist could have taken ideas from the movie Thieves, right? So it's actually going against the argument. So it's actually weakening because it's opening up that possibility that this studio that produced a Big Heist could have taken ideas from the movie Thieves. Okay. Option B: the characters and plot twists that are most similar in the two films that have close parallels. Okay, so the two films we are talking about are Thieves and The Big Heist. The characters and plot twists that are most similar, so these similar characters and plot twists have close parallels in many earlier films of the same genre. Okay, so now it's saying that whatever is similar in these two films is actually there in many earlier films of the same genre. Okay, so if that is the case, then probably there are a lot of films in this genre which have similar characters and plot twists. Then the director of the movie Big Heist could have taken ideas from the earlier films, not really from the movie Thieves, right? Because it's saying these characters and plot twists have close parallels in many earlier films. So that's how probably the movies in this genre are produced, right? So then in that case, it supports that the director of this movie, The Big Heist, have not really taken ideas from the movie Thieves. Okay, so it supports. Option C, the film studio that produced Thieves seldom produces films in this genre. Okay, so now we are talking about the film studio that produced the movie Thieves. And now we are saying that it seldom, it rarely produces films in this genre. Now it rarely produces or very frequently produces has nothing to do with the argument. The whole argument stands as is whether it seldom produces films in this genre or it frequently produces. This has no impact. The director of Thieves worked with the director of The Big Heist on several earlier projects. Now, if they worked on several earlier projects, it could be that they have talked about their movies, right? In that case, there is a slight possibility that the director of Thieves could have shared with the director of The Big Heist about this movie, and the director of The Big Heist could have taken ideas from that movie, right? So it is opening up that slight possibility, right? It's a stretch to think, but it's still not in a positive direction. It is in a negative direction. So it's a slightly weakener. It's a slight weakener. The time it took to produce The Big Heist was considerably shorter than the time it took to produce Thieves. Okay, so does it mean that it was a copied film? uh, Now that's a, if you think that okay, if it is taking this film a lot less time than the time it's taking to produce Thieves, then does it mean it's a copy? No, it's a huge stretch, and there could be number of factors that could play a role in making, right, it impacting the time it takes to produce that movie. But even if you make that huge stretch that yeah, if it took such a short time, then probably it was a copied one. Still, it is going in the opposite direction, right? It's actually saying the acquisition is fine then. But it's a huge stretch. I would call it a no impact because it's a huge stretch to think, okay, just because the time is shorter, it's a copied film. Okay. Uh, Very, very slightly negative, but it's almost no impact. So the answer is option B.